would imagine this week after a difficult few weeks, a bit more spring in the step after the win on the weekend.
Yeah, but even previous weeks we sort of always worked on us move on to the next one. So after a win, and say it's the mood in the camp's been pretty good, to be honest with you. I think obviously the Barrow and the Chesterfield 2 games, I think on balance, if you play them 9 times out of 10 you win the games, so you just rub yourself down and get on with it and keep trying to improve on the areas we need to improve on.
But psychologically it's one of those, when you play well and you're not getting results, you don't want that to get ingrained in you. It's important to get the result just to break the cycle.
But you're working on mental strength for the players. It's a word I used quite a bit, and that's the key, to be honest with you. Not just the work you do on the training ground, but the work you do in their heads. And to be fair to this group, they've been and seen it all now, haven't they? So they've been written off loads of times over the last couple of years, and they have a habit of bouncing back and trying to build and trying to improve, which is good. And
is that something? And you say you work on it. A lot of people believe that it's ingrained. It's the way they are. They'll either improve or they won't. They'll be mentally strong or they won't. Is it something that you can completely develop?
Yeah, it's not ingrained, that's for sure. I think it's working on the mindset of not just obviously the obvious about your training ground, but working on each individual of what makes them tick and what you need them to improve, especially mentally. And I think the good thing about ourselves is we have a hardcore of lads in the changing rooms that have been with the club now for a while and have seen it all while they've been at the club, and that certainly helps, rather than working with a new batch of players that takes a bit of time, which we don't have anyway as managers, as you know. So certainly it helps with the group we've got.
And do you have to tailor it differently? And obviously each player, someone like the arm around the shoulder, someone the kick at the backside, but when you're trying to develop them mentally, do you have to approach them all in different ways as well?
It's man management, isn't it? It's a life where everyone's different, isn't it? You might get 3-4 players of a similar sort of mindset, and then another few that haven't got that sort of thing, and it's working out your players. But that's the art of management for me, to know what you need to get the best out of the player. So that's the way we sort of work it, yeah.
And for you, and obviously you're still a very young manager yourself, and you must go season in, season out and trying to work out, okay, well that one didn't work, so let's try this and work out what works for you.
Yeah, well, I think for me, I always go and assess my own performance all the time as well. It's not about, it's a lonely place, management, especially when things aren't going well, but you're always looking to strive and assess in areas where I need to improve on. I think some managers, you can't have that arrogancy to think that you're not always learning. The game's ever evolving, and you've got to evolve with the game or get left behind. And that's certainly things I look at and evaluate to make sure that I'm up to the standard.
And do you have people within the game, because players always talk to the coaches, the manager and all the rest of it, for managers it's difficult, and who do you go and talk to your peers?
Look in the mirror. Nah, listen, I don't. I'm quite busy anyway. I speak to a lot of managing coaches, but I don't really speak to them in the thought of getting knowledge of them. I believe in what I sort of do without that trying to sound arrogant, do you know what I mean? But more of evolving with the tactical side of the game and looking at different aspects of that sort of side of the game, rather than that. I believe I know how to manage. I know what players are about. So more of tactically, really.
Okay, and looking at the table, I mean, it is still so ridiculously tight, isn't it? And with these big runner games coming up, the next month's going to go a long way to deciding a lot of clubs' positions.
Well, yeah, we want to just keep, like I say, keep ticking along. We want to build on Saturday's win, and we just don't like to look that far forward. We've got a tough game at Shrewsbury that are fighting for their lives. Every game in this division, if people don't know by now, they're all losable, aren't they? So they've all got decent players. It's always a tough challenge. The top 3 or 4 have been more consistent than the rest of us. They seem to run away slightly, but that can quickly turn as well. So, but for ourselves and looking at where we are, we're doing fantastic. So we'll try and continue and get positive results out of it.
Yeah, and Shrewsbury obviously are struggling bottom of the table. Do you take that into account going into a match in terms of their psychology?
Not really, because unless they've taken 3 players off the pitch, it'll be 11v11, won't it? So it's a case of just going, working that project, trying to get the positive result, try and build on performances, try and work on the things we're not doing so well, and try and get the 3 points again.
I'm not sure they won't start with 11, but they have got a few players suspended after the midweek match, and things like that. It just disrupts sides, doesn't it?
Well, does it? I've got injuries. It is what it is, isn't it? That's what you build a squad for, isn't it? A lot of teams in League One don't worry about injuries for me and suspensions because they've got big squads anyway. So it's just part and parcel of the game. I don't think. I'd like to think I don't use that as an excuse. You build a squad that's capable of winning football matches. So for me, they'll have plenty of strong players. They've got, I looked at the bench the other night. Evanks Blake scored a lot of goals for Chesterfield last year in League One. And he's on the bench. So they've got players with massive experience that were on the bench the other night. So I'm sure they'll be fine, and I'm sure their suspensions won't weaken them too much.
And I think I've just heard the away allocation has been sold out, so you can have plenty of local support up there.
Support's amazing. I'm always on record saying that, and it'd be great to have a good following up there, and hopefully we can send them home so they can enjoy the Christmas turkey.